Hello and thanks for watching Best Maths Tutors. This time we're going to look at combinations and outcomes, which is a very common GCSE topic. Often it's involved with probabilities as well, and it's when we have more than one thing that's happening and we've got to see how many possible outcomes we could have. So a good example is this first question here, where we can choose either a sandwich and a drink, and what we've got to do is we've got a choice of sandwiches. So we've got 3 different styles of sandwich we could have, and we've got 2 different drinks we could have, and what we've got to do is list all the possible combinations that we could have. So we've got to say how many possible combinations could we have there. So we can see that if we chose cheese as our first one, as our sandwich, then we've got 2 options for the drinks. So we could either have juice or water. So that's all the cheese sandwich options there. And then if we chose tuna as our sandwich, we can see again we've got 2 different options for the drink. We've got juice or water. And if we chose egg as the sandwich, we can see that again we've got 2 different options, juice or water. And so we could just add them up, 2 plus 2 plus 2, and what we get is 6. We can see probably that there's a quicker way of working this out. So we can see, well, we've got 3 options here and we've got 2 options here, and for each of these 3 options we've actually got 2 choices. So really we could get the total just by multiplying the 3 by the 2, and that will give us 6 as before. So really there's 2 ways of doing it. We could actually list all the possible combinations and then add them up in this as we did in the first method, or if we wanted a bit of a quicker way of doing it, what we could do is just say, well, we've got 3 different choices of sandwich, and for every choice of sandwich we've got actually 2 choices of drinks, so that's 3 times 2 gives us 6. For our next question we've got a 6-sided dice and a fair coin. So we've got to say how many different results are there. So we can see that for each number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we've actually got 2 choices, heads or tails, heads or tails in every case. So I could write all this out, but I think we can see that since we've got 6 options for the dice, and for each option we've got 2 choices, we've either got heads or tails for the coin, then in fact it's just 6 times 2 different results, which is 12. If we're working out the probability now that he'll get a 1 and a head, well, that's only one option. There's only one way we could do that out of 12. So the probability of getting a 1 and a head, so that's a sort of shorthand way of writing that, the P stands for the probability, is the number of ways that we could actually get that, the 1 and the head, and there's only one way we can do that, and it's out of the number of different outcomes, and it's 12. And we can say it's 1/12 as well because it's a fair coin, so each one of these outcomes, the 1 head, 1 tail, 2 head, 2 tail, etc., is equally likely. So we've got 12 equally likely outcomes, but only one way of getting what we want there. In our next example we've got a car dealership. So it says that new cars can come with a choice of 6 different colours, and customers can choose also between 3 different styles, which are hatchback, coupe and saloon. So finally the customer can also pick between 4 different sizes of wheel. So how many combinations are there? So again we could actually write down all the different combinations, and this would take us a really long time at the moment with so many different options. So we could write down, let's say we number the colours 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we could say that for each one of those colours we've got 3 different styles of car: hatchback, coupe or coupe, however that's said correctly, and saloon. So we've got the 3 different options there: H, C and S, and then for each one of those we've got 4 different wheel sizes. So what we could see is we could just actually multiply these 3 numbers together. We could just say, well, actually the total different combinations is equal to the 6 different colours. So for each of these 6 different colours we've actually got 3 different styles, and then for each of those options, so for each different colour and style, we've actually got 4 different sizes of wheel. So we can just times that by the number of wheel size options as well. So 6 times 3 is 18, times by 4 should give us 72. So there's 72 different combinations available. In our final example, we've got a restaurant which is offering 4 different starters, 6 different mains and 5 desserts, and a customer can choose several different options. So a customer can choose either just one course, so a starter, a main or dessert, any combination of 2 courses, or all 3 courses. So this is a more difficult one, and we've got to show that actually there's 209 options altogether. So what I'm going to do is just try and list each one of these options, I should say, separately. So choosing just one course would mean that we've actually got either, if we're choosing starter, we've got 4 starters, and this time I'm going to add them because these are only one course. So we've got either 4 starters, 6 mains or 5 desserts. So if we chose this particular option of just one course, we'd have 15 different options there. If we choose a combination of any 2 courses, let's assume we was having a starter and a main. So if we have a starter and main, would be the first combination of starter, main or dessert. So if we say we've got starter or main, well actually we've got 4 different starters and 6 different mains. So we've got 4 times 6, which is 24. So if we're choosing a starter and a main, then there would be 24 options. If we chose a starter and a dessert as our 2 options, so starter and dessert, we can see that we've got 4 starters, and we're going to multiply that by the number of desserts that we could have. So that would be times by 5, and that would give us 20. And the only other way we could have 2 courses would be to have a main and dessert. So I realise I've spelt dessert wrong there, 2 S's in dessert. So that's a desert, isn't it, with 1 S. So main and dessert. So if we choose that, then what we've got is 6 options for main times by the 5 desserts, and that's 30. So for that one we can add all those 3. So if we go for option 2 there, 2 choices or 2 courses, then we can add them together: 24 plus 20 plus 30, and that will give me 74. And finally, if we were choosing all 3 courses, so if we are going for a starter, main and dessert, then we've actually got 4 starters, and for each one of those we could pick any of 6 mains, so we're going to multiply that by 6, and for each one of those that we've chosen, each combination of starter and main, we could actually multiply that by 5, because there's 5 different options for dessert there. So we've got 4 sixes is 24, times by 5 is 120. So finally, so these are our numbers of different combinations for each one of these 3 options. So the total different options we could choose, or total combinations that we could choose, would be the 15 plus the 74 plus the 120. And if we do that, 120 plus 74 is 194. 15 plus 194 will give me 209 as required. So we've done that one. So I hope that's been helpful to you, and if it has, please consider subscribing to our channel to see more of our videos, and also giving our video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.